Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So yesterday I went in to a vein specialist and had a procedure done on my left leg. I had some varicose veins that I wanted to get taken care of, and what actually happened, this is hereditary, it runs my family. People in my family just have varicose veins, both sides, mom and dad. So I knew I would be getting varicose veins, but they showed up pretty early. Most people, I think, don't have varicose veins in their 20s. But because I was in a sledding accident 3 years ago, it damaged the veins in one area right above my knee. And it broke the veins up so that I had, the wormy kind of varicose veins right there. And it just really started to bother me. I love to wear shorts, and I have pretty good legs, I'm just saying. And then to have these like wormy veins all over them, pretty gross. So I went in for a consultation in January, and what the doctor did was to put an ultrasound on my leg so he could look at my veins, and I had the best doctor. He walked me through everything, and I really felt educated about the whole process. And what he saw was that, so on the ultrasound, and I'm not a doctor, so if I get any of this wrong, feel free to correct me in the comments below. So what he did was, on the machine, he showed the blood flow to be blue because all the blood in these veins were supposed to be going down to my feet. And what happens is if you put pressure on the vein, like you just put your finger on the vein and then let it go, it should shoot right back down. What happened with mine was he put pressure on it, and it took a minute to recorrect itself. So it started going back the opposite direction because my valves are not working. And a valve, like say you have a vein and it's like a doorway like this. Every time your pulse goes, it should go down like this, just letting in more blood to the vein. Well, my valves are not opening one direction. They're kind of just going like floating in the wind there, just going back and forth. So I definitely had damaged veins, and he was able to show me on my right leg that if he did that same thing, that the valves were opening in the correct direction, and that if he cut off circulation and then let it go, it would go right back to blue quickly. Whereas on this leg, it was like we could count 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, and it would be like 5 seconds until it went from red to blue again. I hope that wasn't too confusing. It really made a lot of sense when he told it to me. So I will probably need to do this surgery again on the right leg when I get older, but for now it's fine. I have some spider veins on the right leg, but those are easy enough to cover up with makeup, and right now I just don't want to spend the money on it. My insurance company did cover the procedure, except for the fact that I have stinky insurance. I have a $10,000 deductible, and so until I meet that, they don't pay for it, but they did cover it. So it went towards my deductible, the whole procedure. And I'll put how much it cost me in the description bar below. I'm not sure if it would cost you something different. Remember, it was only one leg, and they did the ultrasound and everything. So then I went in for the procedure yesterday. And I waited a couple months because I wanted my deductible to start over, which it did in March. And that's just because of my insurance. So I went in yesterday, and they said, don't eat for 2 hours before. You can take a sedative, but I didn't want to take a sedative because, well, number one, sometimes I have adverse reactions to sedatives and things. I didn't want to be lethargic for the rest of the day, and I wanted to be able to drive myself home after the procedure. And the way my doctor explained it to me was that if you take the sedative, you are just having a lot of nerves about the procedure. So but it's not for the actual pain or anything like that. And I'm so glad I did not take a sedative because the procedure was not painful at all. The only thing that was kind of like annoying was just having to sit still for that long because I just like to be moving and stuff. But I was able to move my arms and, do whatever. And the doctor talked to me the whole time. The nurse was in there. The first thing they did was just to run iodine over the area that we would be working on. Then he put all those surgical, like those blue paper blankets, and then taped them all around the area and laid them across so no dirty things would get into the area. And then, what did they do? They marked with a magic marker where they were going to do their incisions, and I'll insert pictures of everything. There were 2 points of entry, and they were like the size of a pinhole. So no stitches or anything like that. They inserted a wire first, and then they inserted a catheter, not one to help you go to the bathroom, it's just like to help you inject medicine in that vein. And they started above the knee, and then they run it up towards your groin, because that's where they're going to be lasering the vein shut. And by cutting off that flow of blood, then anything below your knee, like where I had my varicose veins, there's no way the blood could get down there. And I said, is there any chance you're going to do the wrong vein and then I'm still going to have a problem? And he said no. He just laughed and he was like, no, there's no way. So they inserted the catheter, then they put in the local anesthetic, and then that whole process took 30 minutes. And then they just like gradually put it on, and like when they're putting the anesthetic on, it was kind of like, whoa, some of it leaked down. It was like watery on my leg and stuff, but it wasn't uncomfortable. And then finally we were ready for the laser. They put the laser in all the way and then just started, I guess, burning their way down. I don't know. I didn't feel it. I didn't really look because I don't know, just trying to think about other things, and we were talking about different things going on in the news and stuff. And that whole laser thing lasted like 10 minutes probably, and then it was done. And they gave me a mint to suck on, and then after like I set up, I realized I smelled like kind of a burnt smell in the air, but because of the mint in my mouth, I didn't really notice anything until the whole thing was over. And then afterwards, they just put like a little bit of tape on there with the cotton ball after they took everything out. And I put on my compression hose on just that one leg, and I was ready to walk out the door. So, pretty easy procedure. I was able to drive myself home. I didn't have any pain at all until maybe about 5 hours later, and that's because I had been sitting around and then I stood up and like the blood rushes down your leg and it just is sore and kind of painful. They said during the procedure, because I didn't have a lot of fat on my leg, that it was really easy to find the vein. They didn't have to do any searching, and easy to get everything done. But the negative side is that the recovery time is a little bit worse because there's no fat cushioning the vein. So when my skin moves, it'll rub on the vein. And so, but I don't know. I don't think it's bad. And I was worried that I would feel even worse today when I woke up, and I feel great. I'm going to insert some pictures of befores and afters, and I am going to go now, and I will update you on my progress in a few days or whatever. Okay. I'm going to start off by showing you what my legs look like before I had the procedure done. And if I flex my muscles, you can see them a little bit better. That's why I'm doing that. So right under the knee is the worst part. Then when you see me in the red shorts, it is 6 days after I had the procedure. I'm showing you 2 entry holes, one there and one there. And it's a little bit yellow. I'm not sure if that's from the iodine or bruising. And you can see that the varicose veins are not gone yet. They look a lot better, but they're not completely gone. And then finally, I'm showing you what my legs look like today, 19 days after the procedure, almost completely gone. I have one entry mark that has not healed yet, but it's tiny, and then the other one has disappeared. Okay guys, so it has been about 19 days since I had the procedure done, and I am so happy with the results. I can barely see my varicose veins, and Yeah. There was a time, probably about halfway through, that I got very upset because I did not see the results that I wanted. They were probably like 75% gone, and I was just like, is this it? I went through all of this and they're still here. And my doctor said it would take a month, but you know, I thought, I don't know. But luckily, after so many days, they're almost completely gone, and I am so happy that I had this procedure done. I will say from day like 6 until 9, it was pretty painful. It was a nagging pain that kind of got worse if I had been sitting down for a while and then I stood up and all the blood would rush back to my leg. It was just, it hurt, and it was very uncomfortable. It kind of just was always on my mind, and I didn't want to take Advil for that long. It was like not bad enough to take Advil, but just still kind of annoying. And have you ever worked out and then a few days later you're sore? It was like that, except it lasted for days and days. So it's not, I mean, it's nothing like childbirth or anything like that, but it's just something to be aware of. And you know, it's probably like what my doctor said, because I have so much muscle tone in that leg, it just would rub against that vein as it started to shrink, and that's what happened. But if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below. I'll help you. I'm not a doctor. I can just tell you about what happened to me. And if you have an experience you would like to share, please feel free to put it in the comments below. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.